Okay, right, first subject, we're going to talk about the Starmer's surrender deal or Starmer's sensible renegotiation with the EU. Okay, so we're not going to get we're going to get a little bit intricate with this, but we're trying. This is called what most people think. So we are trying to consume the details are still emerging as we go to air. That was a wanky thing to say, but let's look at the headline things, right? In terms of what people give a fuck about, what most people think. Now, passports. So British people will be able to use. So what British people hear is passports. That thing that we've all been angry about over the last few years, if the Europeans get to go through, and we often take longer, but not always, that's going to be better, right? Okay. Now, the detail is nowhere near as good as the headline. Right. So it's that we can use e-gates, right? Now, a lot of countries already could use e-gates, but very sensible to market this as being a big thing. So I think, broadly speaking, the public can go, oh, well, that's better than it was. But then when it comes to what it is, it won't be as good as they thought it was going to be. So first up, but I noticed that as I was saying the passport thing will improve, you were nodding and you didn't look displeased. No,
I mean, I hate airports anyway. I'm sick of travelling. Anything that makes it a bit easier, I'm up for that.
So, okay, so that's playing out positively. I mean, it is true that the EU could have done this at any point, right?
Yeah.
The whole thing of making us go through different gates was unbelievably petty. Now, I know that the Romaniacs and the Remainers listening will go, well, it's their right. But it was a little bit, we're getting divorced. I don't even like the dog, but I'm going to take him.
Right. Yeah.
It's a bit of that, wasn't it?
Bit petty. But also, the other thing is, recently I came back from Australia, went through to, there's no one at the airport. The gates don't work. Sometimes people are trying to get through, they're putting the passport on the...
needs to be manned.
Yeah, there's nobody there. Nobody's there, and people are just like, well, what do I do now? To be honest...
What's your face when you do that?
Oh, yeah, that.
You just do that
just
for a while?
Just do that for a while, don't you?
And you do the eyes, like... You think, how long's too long?
Yeah, exactly.
One thing I would say about the EU, though, it was petty. I think it was petty. We extend that to their citizens. They don't extend it to us. Now, the Remainers will say it's because they're a bigger bloc, they're more powerful. Like, by the way, the Remainers always get off on the EU being more powerful. Listen, they've got more power, they've got more trade, like they're touching themselves under the table. However, it was genius also by the EU, because time to regret is time to change, right? So we've all stood in that queue.
Yeah.
Jealously looking on at the Dutch and the French and the Italians filing past. It's just time to think, innit?
Yeah, well...
You did this.
Do you have a blue passport as well?
Yeah, I love the blue passport.
Do you like the blue passport?
It's a better looking passport. That's a fucking fact, right?
But it does look nice.
It does look nice. It's a better looking passport. It doesn't get you into as much stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like saying, you go to Alton Towers and they give you a wristband. You go, I'll have the prettier one. Well, it doesn't get you on as many rides, but it's a better wristband. But when you're in that queue with like screaming kids and stuff like that, I think there've been points where even the most ardent Brexiteer would have gone, fuck it, European Court of Justice. Literally, I will give fucking Donald Tusk a hand job. I don't give a shit.
I do get that sort of attitude as well when I come back and I'm waiting at the airport, like Heathrow, Manchester, wherever. I'm like, I live here. Can I just go? That's what I always feel like. I'm always like, I live here.
Scan my face.
Can I go through, please?
Scan my face. Like, I talk about civil liberties and government overreach. Again, like the amount that we sacrifice our principles. I'm literally, keep me on a database, scan my face when I'm in the queue.
Take my fingerprints, scan my retina.
Cheek swab.
If it makes it easier for me, do it.
Well, this is the issue, isn't it? This is maybe where a lot of the British public are with the EU, is we've been through a stage, we were promised stuff, some of it didn't happen, was over-optimistic, some of it wasn't delivered by bad politics, right? But we are where we are, right? So the next thing is fishing. So this deal is quite obviously a better outcome for the EU. They wanted to extend this thing for 12 years, right? And the British government said 4 years. And then Starmer said 5 years, and the EU said 12 years. And Starmer said maybe 6 years, and the EU said 12 years. So Starmer said, how about 11 years plus a year? And they said, deal. I mean, we absolutely got fucked on this one. There's no getting around it. Now, people might say, well, for us, the amount of money we make through fishing is a tiny fraction of our GDP. Mm-hmm. So did Starmer just exploit the Europeans' weird, insatiable desire for fish?
Look, it baffles me, all this fishing stuff. I haven't got a bloody clue about it, to be quite frank with you. I don't eat fish either.
We don't eat much of it here.
I don't eat anything from the sea.
Oh, you like consciously don't?
I don't like it.
I thought you meant habitually.
No, I don't eat it. If it's from the sea, it's not for me. I don't eat fish. I don't even like stuff that lives on water.
Oh, okay,
so
that's
I don't want to eat duck. I've got an ick about it. I just, I'm like, just makes me feel a bit ill.
Despite the word duck sounding so great in your accent.
Duck, yeah. I really don't like it. But I don't eat fish, don't eat seafood. Don't.
So weird. It's like the one thing that people just generally is where like even vegetarians are like, you go, all right, it's fish is fine, because people think of it, I suppose, as cleaner and fresher. You see it's the opposite.
Yeah, I see.
The sea is full of piss and shit of many animals.
I hate it. I just think we when I see a fishing net dredging stuff out, I'm like, it just makes me feel so ill.
Is it because of the idea of what's hidden underneath? Is it a psychological thing?
I don't know what it is.
Or the massiveness of it? Am I going to make you vomit?
No, it's just the smell of fish. It's just the look of it. I'm just like, why would you eat something that looks like that? Like, you see these creatures at the bottom of the sea with the lanterns. I'm like,
yeah, that is gross.
Just leave them alone.
There's so much we don't know down there.
Maybe I'm a bit weird about this. I think if it's on the land, have it, eat it.
If it's on the land, it's grand.
If it's on the land, it's grand. If it's from the sea, it's not for me. There you go.
That proves how much rhyming stuff is persuasive.
Very persuasive, yeah.
Beer gives you fear, wine makes you feel fine.
There
it's
you
not
go.
true, but it rhymed, it felt true. So maybe like Big Keir Starmer feels like you about fish, but there's no doubt that the British fishermen, and it's weird that no one is disputing the mun in fishermen, are they? Because I don't think they're obviously fisher women, but most women, do you want to go to that big lonely place that goes like that and be around the smell of fish? Almost no women in history have gone, I want to do that.
No, it's a hard job, that, isn't it? It's like, that is proper graft.
But then they've gone, you can keep the mun on that.
Yeah,
that can
leave it to the lads. We're not doing that.
Forever. I mean, the thing is, I think passports will play out well with the public instinctively. I think fishing will play out badly instinctively, because the idea is, even if we don't want it that much, and even if that gives us access to other things, it just feels like someone pissing in your garden a little bit. That's the problem.
The only thing I hope, is it going to be helpful to the fishing communities? Is it going to, give people more work?
They're really unhappy. The British fish, so this is where they feel fucked. They were promised, one of the Brexit dividends was they were promised more control, more fishing in our waters. And basically what Labour have done, they've sort of figured, and there is political strategy to this, is that the British public really is a small part of our economy. It doesn't affect many people. Ultimately, the British people won't care if we get more frictionless trade in other areas. That's what they've figured. But it's still, emotionally, that's where I think they might be underestimating the impact of this.
Interesting. Yeah, I'd like to see, that side of things. I'd like to see that industry reinvigorated. I'd like to see, because it's like, it's a livelihood, isn't it? It's passed down, isn't it?
It's also a lifestyle as well. It's like farming
exactly.
as well. So I think people feel naturally well disposed towards it.
And you think about places like, sort of the northwest or wherever, that are so run down, and so there's no investment in it, and it could be a really, I think it should be. I mean, we live on an island, for God's sake. You think
and we live on an island, and we don't like fish.
We don't like fish.
Finally, people like you.
It's my fault.
Let's go to defence procurement, because I know that you're chomping at the bit to talk
Absolutely.
About. Let's just, let's give it some time.
Don't get me started on it.
So when we were in the EU, we were able to bid for like EU type defence contracts, and we barely ever got any, right? So now part of this deal, and given that we're all militarising and we're going to be at war again soon, a lot of people are saying this could be good for British industry, British arms manufacture. But there is a part of this, like you can bid for it, but you might not get it. It's sort of like you can ask out 100% of the beautiful women on planet Earth. You have the liberty to crack on, graft, fucking shark as many women as you want.
You can ask.
You can always ask.
But you might not get.
So this is what I'm sort of wondering, is that they've sensed, right, what are the British clucking for? They're clucking for, they don't give a fuck about fish. They do give a fuck about military. We're not that great at making guns. Maybe this is like the landing ground for this deal. It's basically this. They don't care about fish. We want fish. We're not that good at making guns. You make guns.
Yeah.
I've got an idea. Can we meet somewhere in the middle here? Again, some of this everyone wants to come to a conclusion about this right now, whether or not it's a surrender deal. But some of it will come to, in the long run, did we sell many guns to the EU? We better hope there's some wars. That's the problem with this deal, is we need there to be wars.
Do we make guns in this country?
Yeah, I think so. Well, we fucking better, otherwise this deal is absolute shithouse. The alignment on food, right? So we had a period of time where we could have gone further with genetically modified crop. Now, instinctively, again, a lot of it is instinctive. People go, well, that sounds bad. But some people think that the EU are being overcautious. That's why their economy is either small or contracting in some areas. But in the end, after Brexit, there were opportunities to do stuff differently, but we just didn't do it. That's the truth. I think the opportunities were there, and whether it's because COVID happened, whether it's because everyone was fucking exhausted, we just didn't do it. So the idea of similar food standards, a lot of people go, all right, fucking fine. In most people's lives, they're going to go, okay, fine, yes, go ahead. The problem is so if there is a dispute, it's the EU court, the European Court of Justice, I think, that arbitrates. That seems a little bit one-sided their way. So if there's ever a dispute on food standards, the person that decides on that dispute is there, is fucking there, over there in Brussels.
Why is life so complicated? Why is everything so... I wish we could just have a nice, simple life.
But this is what this deal is. This deal to people will seem like the simple life option, I think.
It stresses me out, stuff like this.
Okay,
Because it's very hard to get your head round, I think.
It is. And this is like, all this stuff is breaking this morning. But
Yeah.
I would say that, they say we've got alignment on food. I think there is an alignment on food that people would have liked, is that ours is more like theirs. That is an alignment on food. It's going immediately, we're up in the standard of our bread. Like, it's just going to be quality. It's going to go off quicker.
Do you know, I have to say... I don't know if I've mentioned I was in Australia last month.
Yeah, it came up.
The quality of food over there is insane. I was like, I can't believe that this food is so good and so fresh and so nice.
I think it's the vitamin D. I think the food was the same.
Do you think?
And you would just,
And it was just
when
nice
you go
weather.
abroad, like when you drink red wine in France, and you go, I don't know what it is. It's the additives, the salt. Everyone comes, those fucking theories that people come up with about wine in foreign countries. So, you know what actually gives you the hangover? I go, the alcohol, the drug that causes the alcohol. No, it's not actually. It's not. It's the preservatives. You go, yeah, all right, maybe that makes a difference. But what you're thinking of is a fantasy world where you can avoid hangovers and consequences for what you do. I mean, just one final thing here is there's a couple of other bits in this deal. There's going to be like on like vets and like certain recognition of qualifications, touring acts, I think good. Erasmus, which is the youth exchange thing.
Yeah.
So that comes back. I
Oh,
mean,
that's good.
a lot of people, again, will think that's good. Can young people go live and
Great.
work?
I think that should be a priority, that.
Okay, so I think a lot of people probably share your view. Some people like me will go, right, there needs to be a cap on it. It can't be a back doorway in. My only issue with that, the youth mobility thing, was I hated the way at the time of the Brexit argument, so many columnists were all like, that was all they gave a shit about, was they wrote so many columns about it's just, the idea that my child won't be able to work as an accountant in Lisbon. Like, and I don't want to say this because I know that matters. Something matters to people, some don't. I like sovereignty. You like the idea of your child working in Portugal.
But also, I'm not somebody who ever had the opportunity to go and do that either.
Yeah.
So wouldn't be kids like me that were going to do that.
No, quite.
It's quite, very middle class thing to go and do that. But go and do it, I say.
That's very open-hearted of you. No chip on your shoulder.
No.
And if it was a chip, it'd be a really nice Australian, healthy chip.
Covered in gravy.